Shields are for old and frail creatures, and only people that are afraid to punish their enemies directly with their third seal appendage use advanced weapons. But I hear some say, oh, now they will shoot my head off if I don't have my protection. Then just grow a new one, you weak but somehow extremely handsome monkey. This is exactly the mindset that I need to make my life go back on the right path. And who better to put as our mentors in this than the good old greenskins? So we will be drawing inspirations from both their tactical genius and the choice of ship design, because there is nothing more satisfying to look at than a big ship with a big gun. Welcome to Starsector, where we will be immersing ourselves to not only understand the idea, but to make it our true way of life. First, let's establish some goals. To my great disappointment, when someone says eat bullets, they don't mean that literally and want to just kill you. So we will have to solve our Russian problem with exactly 11,356,511 virtual money, or how I like to call them, V-Bucks instead. Next we'll have to establish a super secret hidden base that no one ever will be able to find, so we can do all our evil scheming in peace. And finally, our ultimate goal: make all of those humies work for us. With introductions out of the way, time to decide how our reincarnation will look like in this world. And I think I found just the right one. He already looks like he is about to turn into a mushroom. Taking inspirations from the extensive and very elaborate texts of Orcish culture, I have already decided on the name for him. Since by the end he will basically be a god among men, the name should reflect that. I think we are adapting very well to this. I just need to buy myself a top hat and a monocle, and I will be basically an orc scholar. Now, just few more options to choose from. Free start. Hard? The only thing that is hard is the barrel of my gun. And my pin. And here we go. My fleet might be small, and my bank account might be low, and my ships might be weak, but yeah, I got nothing. Oh, look at that, our first skill! You might think we go full into fighting buffs, but this is where you lack the immersion. You need to think like our mushroom guy. More scrap means more money, means more ships, means more DACA, means more win. So let's go get some scrap. And I see just the occasion. This is Axonia, home to the faction best described as Florida man in a mech with several missile launches strapped to his back, which, as you might guess, results in constant state of chaos across the whole system. And we love chaos. As if God wanted me to be right for the first time in my life. Immediately upon entering the system, we are greeted by the sound of ships exploding. Ah, music to my ears. Don't mind me, I'm just collecting the leftovers from the war table. Yoink. Oh, even a free ship for seconds. Yummy. The amount of immediate fighting was disappointing though, and since I have as much patience as there are stars in a grain of sand... Oh look, is that another system? Ah, finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary. Hey, money shot, let's go. That was good. Come back here, where are you going? You can't run away from me. Yes, I got you. Now you'll see. Come on, come on. Just a little bit more. And I get it. Who's next? Where are the other ones? Wait, that's it? That was all of them? Aww. After the fight, it was time for a round of outfitting. Normally, it's one of my favorite parts of the game, but it physically pains me every time I have to put weapons on those ships. After some more of de-stressing, time to earn some sweet cash. And when I see our fleet full of extremely powerful warships, there is only one option that comes to mind. Exploration, of course. You never know what you might find out there. Would you look at that? Our first mission, and we already hit a jackpot. Seems like this graveyard is haunted, and the ghosts might be a little bit angry. Thanks to my expert maneuvers though, evading them was as easy as taking a ship from a ghost baby. I would say this was quite a profitable mission. Now it's time for another outfitting. Put a weapon here and a missile there, and voila, the fleet is ready. Then it was time for some more money earning. It was a simple loop. take some requests, kill some guardians, finish the mission, sell the scrap. Take some more requests, kill some more guardians, finish the mission, sell the scrap. Take even more requests, kill some guardians, finish the mission, sell the scrap, and then boom! Money! With a few virtual bucks saved up, it's time to speed up our money making. And we do that by spending nearly half of our fortune on this bad boy. Are you perhaps familiar with those super heavy and big ships we use to ferry hundreds of containers across the oceans? Yeah, this is one of those. But someone thought it would be very funny to put a huge thruster in the back and call it a spaceship instead. Now we can take a big-ass shipment and put it on our big-ass ship, piloted by a great-ass captain with a great ass, to generate us a shit ton of money. And of course, it's a great pirate lure. As soon as they see a civilian freighter like that, they can't help themselves. Sadly for them, I am no civilian. Thanks to their generous donation of their lives, now we can finally take the perk I was aiming for this entire time. It not only allows me to never lose ships as long as we win the combat, but also removes demods from my ships over time, basically allowing my scrap to fix itself, slowly transforming our fleet from something even Jesus doesn't want to fly to a brand new sexy shiny battle fleet. Woohoo! Speaking of sexy, look at what I just found lying around here. Now worrying about our fuel storage is a thing of the past. Florida Man system never disappoints. And I have really bad memory. Just look at all the scrap floating everywhere. Someone could get rich from that. After role-playing an angry Roomba and picking the system clean of anything of value, we can go back on the main road. Oh, and look what I found. It's a Starship Gamba machine. Luckily, I have this huge ship that I planned to sell for a few V-Bucks. Let's gamble with it instead and see what we get. Oh, a new baby. Not bad, it's low tech, so we can actually use it. And it's bigger than anything I have, so that means it must be better, right? We will check if I was foreshadowing something later. For now, we need to sell our junk again. Who knew that arming dangerous pirates with weapons and machinery could be this profitable? Maybe the government is onto something. Don't get me wrong though. Me trading with pirates does not mean that we can be buddies now. I still need live targets to test out my ships. Turns out, this one is a disappointing baby. So, in my fit of rage, worthy of middle-aged Karen, I spent a chunk of my fortune on a new piece of junk. Despite being as broken as my sense of humor, it has two huge guns, which more than makes up for it. It's just like me. I love the design philosophy of making a big gun and then putting a ship around it. There is something magical about it. Luckily, I can just do this, and it's like brand new. Also, I rescued a funny frog ship. Look at this. It jumps with explosions. It's so cool. And I sold the disappointment baby. Many parents wish to know my tricks. Later on I found another one of those disappointment babies, so I decided it would be an appropriate sacrifice for the Gamba machine. And appropriate it was. I got this bad boy in exchange. Gonna have fun with it later. After peacefully convincing few more pirate fleets to give up all their treasures and then selling it back to them, we are almost at our goal. And done. Thanks to my extremely advanced math skills, I was able to get the exact amount of V-Bucks we will need. Crazy, right? When you think about it, taking the whole galaxy is no easy feat. I mean, it could be easy if I was good at the game, but I am the type of person who starts a new save every half a year just to explore everything and forget to keep playing. So, to help with our war campaign, time to build our ultra secret base that no one will ever know about. Ever. First of all, we need to choose a planet. This one will do, and it's not because it is the first one with the largest amount of pictures next to it. It is also because my green dyslexic brain thought its name was Shifma, and I could not resist the urge to make an inappropriate joke here. It doesn't matter now though. Let's get it started. After buying some Colonizers 101 supplies, I rushed to the system only to find out I forgot one of the most important machines. Without those, we can't even begin to build our base. Luckily, our good pals pirates decided to come to our rescue and donate their entire fleet in the form of scrap and leftover machinery to help our cause. I'm starting to like those guys, so I sent them 2 of my frogs to show them how cute my fleet is. I think they appreciated that a lot. With their help, we returned to our planet once again, and this time we properly build the base. This allows us to start our own faction, which comes with one of the hardest challenges. we need to choose the name. Using our charismatic leader's name will make that easier, yes, but we can't leave it just as that. Yes, Borg Nation. We Borg all over the place. After the name was set, it was time to plan out our colony and set up a few more. Thanks to my great exploration skill, the area we colonized had some decent planets in the neighborhood. So we get those up and running as well. Look at this, it's only the beginning and we already lost almost 3 million V-Bucks. This is what I like to call green investing. Luckily, my skills as a garbage collector offset my investor spirit, because I managed to find this beauty in some random pile of trash. Right on time for our first colony crisis. Seems like pirates want to take back what we borrowed from them. So, like good friend that I am, I sent them a few bullets with same-second shipping for their troubles. The fireworks were a nice bonus. There will be a few of those crises? Yeah. Good enough. That we will need to survive before our colonies are strong enough for the next part of our plan. The next trouble came from Luddic Church. Those guys are the Amish of Starsector. They hate technology and think that the current state of galaxy and the catastrophe that stranded all of us in this part was God's punishment for the hubris of men, which anyone who visits social media for more than 5 minutes has to admit is a good point. They did, however, upgrade and swapped horses for starships armed with nuclear weapons. This time we have to face 5 fleets instead of 2. But don't worry, my friend, I have a solution. Isolate, defeat, repair, repeat. Exquisite, magnificent, foolproof plan. And it failed. I only managed to separate and destroy one of their fleets before they got right next to my colony. New plan, use station to soak up as much damage as possible, while we explode some stuff. Oh, now is probably a good time to mention that I might have installed a few mods. One of those mods gives my enemies basically a huge flying citadel, which now we need to face. At least it should be fun. The start of the battle was going great. We managed to blow up a good number of enemy ships, partially thanks to our overwhelming amount of long-range missiles, but also our enemies really wanted to get the station out of the fight, so much so that they were willing to throw ships on a suicide mission, but I am not complaining. The trouble started when enemy citadel got close. With it being able to materialize mines right behind our ships, I got caught off guard and my engines blown up. Before I managed to have them repaired, enemy ships got close enough and finished me off. With my favorite ship gone, I had to resort to the backup one. Things started to look worrying as our station was tag-teamed by enemy citadel and another capital ship. Luckily, our own capital ship managed to get behind the citadel and execute the poking maneuver. Also, I sent both of our frogger to make sure we will finish it off. That was the point at which enemy decided this battle was lost and started retreating. This is also where I understood the true power of Rectangle of Doom, as my whole fleet was throwing everything they had at it while it just swatted it off and retreated through half of the map. Truly amazing design. After that, I managed to find one of the retreating fleets and quickly finish it off, and I was very happy to see what I found amongst the scrap. It will have to wait though, since it will doom my bank account before I even get to shoot with it. The good news is, it was enough to get the enemy to give up their invasion. Even better news is that the church was so mad at us that they decided to declare war on our faction and try to invade again. This is fantastic because our base is strong enough now and we can move on to the next stage of our plan. I collected a bit of supplies and marines and then rushed to our first target. With my experience fighting churches fleets, now they were nothing more than an inconvenience and were dispatched quickly. So now nothing stands between me and my target. This world will make a fine addition to my collection. What? I lost? And so the defeated male leaves with shame. Seems like I severely underestimated the enemy ground forces. This would not be our final battle though. If one method didn't work, I can find another. I say in a very calm and calculated manner when I spent a third of our nation's remaining V-Bucks on the biggest fleet we can buy to assault the enemy worlds for us. I was not angry at all. When those fleets finally assembled, I joined them and together we tried again. This time we surely got this. Few battles later, we are on the planet and landing the troops, but somehow some small patrols managed to distract most of my fleets and only one landed some of their marines. And we lost. But this is not gonna stop me either. Now, this is a matter of life and death. So I bought more fleets and got to work myself, grabbing as many soldiers and mechs as I can find. In the end, I joined the fleet once more, and with over 1,000 marines, each with their own mech, the battle was looking way better. The whole invasion was over in 8 days, and our first step towards global domination was taken. To commemorate this, we need an appropriately grand name for this planet that reflects our ambitions and struggles. Perfection. This sends exactly the message we want. I was on such a high after winning that invasion that I decided to immediately invade another planet in the same system, this time by myself. Defending fleets stood no chance, and the ground battle took barely 4 days to finish. In the true flash of genius, I named this former mining world of Church Mine Now. This is a high level pun even for me, so I am proud of it. I also know how much Church people hate AI, so I installed one on everything they own. I am like the AI bros of modern time. I do not see the consequences of my actions. Only the positive outcomes are my doing, the rest is just natural way of the world. The income tab has also become one of my favorites to look at. We are finally making a decent profit. After staring at it until I had enough money, it was time to send our fleets to the next few worlds. The conquest must continue, and I would like to tell you the tale of our great victory, or even a funny defeat. But none of those fleets had a chance to even get close to the enemy, because they decided to declare peace on me. How can they even do that? It's not like they sent me a peace offer and I agreed. They literally just decided that we are not at war anymore. What even is that? When I calmed down from my very reasonable outburst, I decided to ignore their peace declaration and resent my fleets anyway. They are not getting away from me. Another quick victory over the fleets in a fast ground battle. Very nice. I think we just conquered their capital, so the only sensible thing to do is to put AI in charge of their entire population. This is just the kind of person that I am. But karma is trying hard to catch up to me. This time in the form of a small blockade of 15 fleets from Persian League. Who are they, I hear you ask? It's the Merchants Guild of Starsector, and they don't like you making money in their galaxy. So you will either join them or they will force you to, and I have no intention of becoming their pet gremlin. They normally are not that difficult of an enemy to fight because of their fleets. They mainly use midline ships, which are not the strongest, but remember, I have mods, and those mods give them some reasonably powerful ships. And this one is gonna be the most annoying to deal with. They have the tendency of equipping it with very specific missiles that send a powerful laser after a short delay, usually from outside of my own defensive weapons range. The plan is to focus my long-range weapons on it to keep it from engaging my frontline ships. Otherwise, it's gonna look like this. This way I won't be able to finish it, but at least it won't break my ships before we can open up few of theirs. With this in mind, I continued to separate and destroy their fleets over the course of 3 hours. That was exhausting, but at least we survived. We can't get too happy yet. Church only has a few wards left, and we better grab them while they are still weak. Before going on an offensive again, I had the pleasure of renaming 2 more worlds conquered last time. Perfect as always. Now comes time to clean up the system we got last time. So next target is Asher, and a quick name change. The last planet they control is some random toxic world they conquered from Twitter. Oof. I almost ran out of replies during our aggressive debate, but we botted more likes, and with this, the Space Amish are cancelled. Now, just to rename their last bastion to something that accurately portrays my feelings. While I was still in the system, I saw a pirate station just floating there, tempting me to come and get it. So now we own it, and of course, the name needs to be a bit more memorable. Before I had a chance to get a good laugh at my impeccable sense of humor, we got some trouble. Seems like Hegemony was not very happy with us killing their friends, so they decided to declare war on us. If Church was Space Amish, then Hegemony is the corrupt military that used their best soldiers to take over the government. They will be slightly harder to deal with than Church, so I think it's time to take out the Rectangle of Doom. This flying brick might seem like a great frontline ship with its great armor and HP, but just like a true brick, it's an assassin weapon meant to crush one enemy and then retreat to safety. Trust me, I know a lot about bricks. Now, back to Conquest. Quick space and then ground battle later, and we got our first spoil of war in the neighboring system. Also, the fleets that we sent independently from us also managed to secure another colony as well. Things are off to a great start on this front. Thanks to the earlier, slightly not peaceful assimilation of Amish, we now control more colonies than hegemony. Amazing. And the game decided it was going too well. Seems like League is still angry about us blowing up several of their fleets. Their feeble attempt at conquering one of my hard-earned colonies blinded me in rage, and I invaded a wrong planet by accident. I hope they will now think twice before interfering in my wars. Never mind, it only made them angrier. Who could have seen this coming? And even worse, Hegemony managed to retake one of their colonies I took from them while I was away exploring stars. So, I took the nearest cosmic highway, and while other fleets were conquering more of military femboy space, I ran back and cancelled their reconquest by retaking it back. And now, even the Merchants Guild is trying to take advantage of femboys being at war with us and nab a few colonies for themselves. This means we need to work fast. On our way to do fast work, we finally managed to get a good battle to test our Rectangle of Doom. And it worked just as well as I hoped for. 4 big guns at the front to melt anything that makes the mistake of coming too close. That's not enough firepower. Press this button right here to activate Overclock. Now your weapon shoots and reloads twice as fast and have a way bigger range. Oh, this is a dream of any green commander. I can't name a single drag that would rival that feeling. And now, after my inspiring show of strength, we own 2 more colonies. More colonies means more money, which means more fleets, which means more colonies. This is the happiness feedback loop. We now should share this happiness with everyone. So, I scheduled 3 new planets to join our glorious empire. Our new citizens will be ecstatic. I am getting so good at the ground battles. You just throw thousands of marines at the enemy and eventually they win. I can't believe I had problems with it earlier. Ah, right. We need to name those. I have just the right idea for this. Send more fleets in. We need more planets to name. Seems like League will be first to take this one. Well, guess we need to do it ourselves again. Now that it's secured and named, let's join our fleets in making sure the other one is as well. Boom, boom, boom. Perfection. I love this ship. Now then, our enemy only has its capital and 1 more military colony left, which means this will be our final push. In this case, I am sending 2 strongest armadas that we can buy. It is expensive, yes, but securing the capital, which is the only level 8 colony in the entire sector, will be massive for us. Colony level is basically how many zeros are there in the number of people living there. So 8 means there are hundreds of millions of potential... Well, the law requires me to call them workers, so I had to prepare well for it. I paid every marine I could find to join us on our glorious conquest, as well as taking every mech and heavy weapon that was not permanently bolted to the station. It had to be a success. From the moment we entered the system, we were bombarded by enemy artillery trying to damage many of our ships before we even start fighting. It even made some of my fleet captains panic and fly right into the sun. This will definitely reflect poorly on their performance review, but we will fire those shots when we get to it. While avoiding the explosions, we managed to get to the next hurdle. The whole planet was surrounded by a minefield. We had no choice but to fly through it. I chose to go through it slowly to give my fleets the highest chances of getting by relatively intact. But 2 explosions still managed to weaken our fleet. Well, it could have been worse, but now we will have to fight at a disadvantage. Luckily, our huge numbers more than makes up for it. First, we blow up the station and the surrounding fleets, then we blow up the artillery station. This one is a little tricky since it throws at you huge explosives, so we need to rush it. It's time for the return of Froge. Beautiful explosion. Now, just a quick invasion and the planet will be ours. At least that was the plan. It seems like I did a little oopsie and forgot to bring lunch for my marines, and now they refuse to go down there. Worse yet, even my ships started breaking down without that launch. So we had to be smart about utilizing what we have. Oh, I hate using my brain. It makes me think sad things and I just want to keep it off. But oh well, at least we already have the number advantage on the ground, which makes it easier. First, we need to finish off the marines and mechs and take control of defense batteries. And in the meantime, I tried salvaging every wreck nearby for some supplies to maintain my fleet. Then, after securing our initial objective, came time to split our forces and eliminate the rest of the resistance. In the meantime, enemy tried to organize the civilians with guns to attack our troops a few times, as well as engaging our fleets above with counter-invasion fleets. With no supplies, I had to send the minimal amount of ships to win the engagement, or else I would risk having to retreat cause no more of my ships would be battle ready. Worse yet, the enemy ships are part of the 14th battle group of ships, which are special, stronger versions of my low-tech ships. Tactics require me to use my brain again. Thankfully, in the end we were able to repel the enemy fleets and finish our ground invasion before the next one showed up. After that, I turned into the greatest garbage man you have ever seen and collected every bit of scrap I could find to repair my fleets. After I had my fun in the scrapyard, it was time to remove another color from the map. Given that we prepared to invade the biggest colony in game, taking the smaller one was quick and painless. And with that, hegemony is gone. We just need to rename the colonies. With those names, everyone will remember what we are capable of. There is no time to lose though. Our great war machine can't stop. Before we take care of the two remaining factions, I think it's time to take over Florida. Despite them only controlling 2 planets, I thought it was 3. Did they nuke one of their own planets? Their ships are very special. So I am sending 2 max power armadas to make sure nothing goes wrong. Never underestimate Florida man, or you might wake up with a nuclear bomb strapped to your balls. Seems like this though scared not only me, but also the 2 other remaining factions, because they formed a quick alliance to protect themselves, or maybe they are looking to deal some damage. All the same to me, their time will come soon. Though, judging by the presence of Merchant Guild's fleet in Florida system, I think it might be the second option. I welcome the additional distraction. Maybe we'll be able to overstimulate the young in Florida and render them useless, just like the TIC website that sometimes talks has taught us. It might be working, judging by the slight difference in the ship numbers in our battle. It's time to turn them into space dust. Hell yeah. I was so excited after conquering this one planet that in the heat of the moment I turned myself into a Florida man and invaded some random pirate planet nearby. Whoops. But now comes the hard part. Not only do we have to face the 2 last factions at the same time, both of those factions have some funny ships that we need to deal with. You already know about Merchants Guild and their loads of money and good ships, but let me introduce you to the last faction in this game. Imagine a world where nothing you buy is truly yours. Everything comes with a license, where you are just a cog in the machine. A world where the profit of corporations stand above the human rights, and you can sell yourself into slavery just so you can afford the next spin. It might sound familiar to you, but this is the wet dream and reality come true for Corpo Bros at Tritechion. So now, why are they problematic? Corpo Bros have all the latest updates, so they are pumping out high-tech ships like crazy, and those have so many broken abilities. How about a small ship that unmakes all your missiles? Or a ship that can bomb you to oblivion while being in another dimension? Or, you know, teleporting around the map? Meanwhile, my ships can move fast forward or jump fast forward. This is why every bit of downtime from wars we had, I spent searching through the vast space for something that could help us win. And I think it just got finished. Let me introduce you to our new secret weapon. I still haven't decided which one to use, so I made both. I guess it's weapons. Those are super heavy capital ships. Both are divided into parts that can be modified separately and, in combat, destroyed separately. It's gonna take a few tries to make them perfectly outfitted, so let's test them out. Yeah, I think I prefer the wide boy. Time for some adjustments then. Put this everywhere and a bit of this. Oh, and hangars. We can't forget hangars. Hangars everywhere. Perfection. With this filler episode done, we can go back to our main plotline. One thing I need to give to my enemies is their relentless profit-oriented spirit, because it didn't matter that I just destroyed their space station, they were still willing to trade with me. Truly, corporate greed knows no bounds. It was extremely satisfying watching more and more planets choose the right side of the war after only a little bit of convincing. But the best part was the battles and flying the wide boy. Thanks to the enemies trying to use tactics and being afraid to commit to a full assault, it was incredibly easy to charge in and isolate parts of enemy fleets. While doing it though, I realized one very nice thing. Wide boy has a special ability that charges it forward, and our wide boy is also very wide. So we just got a perfect use for a strategy I like to call offensive armor. Oh yeah, try to parry this, you filthy casual. Wait, what? Did they just declare peace on me again? Oh, and now they declare war? This AI is like a 2026 child, but instead of being raised on TikTok, its parents gave it blue checkmark Twitter account instead. So just like a kid, this enemy needs to learn consequences of their actions, so we need to take away the candy. And we did. Few of those big round ones. There is one thing that started to take away my sleep at night. We've been conquering more and more planets, yet our monthly profits stopped growing. Worse yet, they started declining. After extensive research, I finally read the line next to the colony income. Most of our profits come from export, but we have been steadily exterminating our clients, one by one. This means the more we conquer, the poorer we will get. So now we have two choices. Either stop the wars and save up enough money, or take everything Blitzkrieg style. I am definitely not patient enough to wait several years though, so the decision is obvious. We've got few more systems to conquer in the main star cluster and a few colonies around, so better to get to work fast. We're gonna do some math. No, I mean math. Oh. Well, that was something. Anyway, and look, to speed up the battles, I invented a new weapon. I am using my tip of my shield to penetrate the enemy armor. Isn't it genius? Thanks to that, the enemy planets fell one by one until there was only the capitals left. One more offensive was all it took. Two more factions have been incorporated into our empire. Colonies? What colonies? There have never been any colonies there. I have no idea what you're talking about. You must be hallucinating. Maybe we should lock you up until you feel better. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, with those two factions gone, all the colonies are either mine or independent. And since, for some unknown reason, all the independent colonies decided to hate me, I think we need one more campaign. With income basically at zero, I sold everything I owned. Any weapons, fighter or modifications that were not being used were gone. And I raised just enough money for what comes next. I sent fleets to every independent colony at once, creating the biggest armada we have ever seen, and joined them in our last conquest. All we had to do now is wait and listen to the sound of victory. Finally, this sector of stars belongs to us. Well, that's it, I guess. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate that. Now you can subscribe or maybe go watch some of my other stuff.